But that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And why did they raise the price of transit a few pennies? Because you see, they made the uneconomic decision to buy electric, green-friendly buses at triple the price of regular diesel-powered buses. And someone had to pay for this green scheme. They said, oh, let the peasants pay. Well, the peasants were having none of it. How ironic that it was energy poverty brought upon by the green schemers that led to the torching. And wouldn't you know it, today, after weeks of protests, the Chilean government announced it will not or cannot proceed with its big conference that was planned for just a few weeks from now, namely the UN Conference on Global Warming, the annual traveling five-star luxury roadshow where bureaucrats, diplomats, lobbyists from all around the world gather to talk about precisely the green schemes that caused the riots. Joining us now via Skype from the Washington area is our friend Marc Morano of ClimateDepot.com. I tell you, Marc, it is quite an irony, a delicious but terrible irony, that these riots were caused, the spark of them. I mean, I know there's other reasons people are rioting, but the precipitating moment was when they had to jack up transit to pay for the green buses.
This is rich in irony. Now, first of all, a little bit of background. I was scheduled to go for over a week to the UN Climate Summit in Santiago, Chile. Now, why was I going to Chile? That's where the UN conference was going to be. Why was it in Chile? It was originally scheduled for Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. But last year, the Bolsonaro, president of Brazil, the Brazilian Trump, if you will, announced that he would have nothing to do with the UN Climate Summit, the UN Climate Agenda, etc., and canceled the UN. So in the height of their virtue signaling, President Pinera, the Chilean president, came forward and said, we are the model green country in South America. We will host this lovely, beautiful UN Climate Summit. So they scheduled it for December. And everyone was booked to go. In fact, I was going to do my movie premiere there for Climate Hustle 2. We had scheduled at the UN Climate Summit, much like we did in Paris. And then what happens? In part of the reason Chile wanted to have this, in fact, the main reason, they wanted to showcase their green agenda, modeled after what the United Nations Paris Agreement, the Green New Deal, all the virtue signaling you can imagine. And what they did is it all blew up in their face just 6 weeks before the climate summit. Not only the metro tax fare, which you're talking about, and the buses, but they also put a carbon tax on the remaining sources of fossil fuel. And they also had skyrocketing energy costs from all of these green schemes, the mandated solar and wind. And then they tried to blame it on high oil prices, which isn't the case, because global oil prices have dropped, and actually Chilean oil prices are lower than they were a year ago. This is all the green economy, the green mandates sanctioned by the UN. Chile was trying to have a conference showcasing it. Instead, they're having their yellow vest moment like Paris saw last year.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show, which is a show I do every day. I do a monologue, interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at premium.rebelnews.com.